Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the Chelsea Rundown. Lucky episode number 13 for summer 25-26. And we're covering the men's fifths for round 19. That opener theme music, Gunna Run, was by Tony Herdman, and his entire catalogue is available on Spotify. I encourage you to check it out. Joining me this week is Jess. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Troy. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. And as always, joining us again, his Royal Aceness. How you doing, buddy?
Yes, well, the season is over. Let's put that one in the past. It was an interesting one. A lot of chops and changes, a few divvy changes, a few league changes, a few name changes. And the Dolphins, as we do, we sort of had a real good run there in the middle, but unfortunately we floundered around a little bit towards the end. But let's get over to it, shall we?
Indeed, this was the men's fifth versus Frankston from Sunday, the 1st of March. Ace, take me through that lineup, please.
Yeah, pretty standard for the last time this season, and probably won't be hearing me say that because I know a few of the players are hanging up the boots. But we'll lead it off with Big Razzle Dazzle, the Barley Belly extraordinaire, coming back from Bali 2 weeks out. Pitching again, lovely game. I think he was in excess of 90 pitches once again. Your lovely wife, Jess, over at shortstop position. Teabagger found himself a lovely little promotion up at third and was playing pretty well up there. Big ace man down in 4 spot. Nico, the Greek freak. How are you, Nico? The switch-hitting dynamo, Drewy, the 9-toe bandit over third base. Loves it over there, doesn't he? Dan, the man, the hamstring man. That's the violin playing jig. Jimbo behind the catcher's dish. Doesn't mind blocking a couple. Nuggly at first base. He played very well. I think he did a bit of a swap over with Nico at some stage. Actually, I think I got Nico out in second base. And Big Humbles, the captain extraordinaire, coached us very well. Thank you very much, Humbles, for all that you do week in, week out. And Big Lucas Carey. I don't know if everybody knows, but he did tell me that this was his last season. So it was lovely to get out there with Lucas Carey for one last time. So thank you very much, Lucas, for the season. And, that was the lineup.
Good on you, Lucas. It was fantastic playing with you. And to echo your comments, Humbles, top effort. Thank you, sir, for managing. But, Ace, take me through the highlights, please.
Yeah, an interesting game. I think Frankston probably didn't throw everything at us. There were some messages back and forth between Shane and myself that we're probably going to sort of take it a step down. I guess not much for us to play for, and obviously Frankston were playing for a final spot, but we sure went out there and played one hell of a baseball game. Frankston are a top-end side. They've really got a very strong hitting side, top to bottom, and it's obviously got a lot of pitching depth. With AJ, he wasn't out there on the weekend. They throw GT, he was chucking to us, Rick, and father-son combo right at the end there, which was lovely to see. I know Teabagger, you're always looking for the father-son. Did that bring a tear to the eye to see the father-son catch a duo combo?
I'm not sure if it was seeing the father and son combo or getting hit pitch ball by the father, but there was a tear in my eye, yes.
Yes. He was a bit wild, but just lovely to get out there. I think I went up to the catcher and just said, what an amazing feeling that must be, getting some wild pitches from your old man. But look, like we know, Frankston, they do what they do, obviously with 2 very capable players with David Fisher and Shane Fisher up there. Both can hit wherever they want to hit. Nothing much really gets past Dave Fisher at shortstop. Jess, what are your thoughts on that, being a shortstop person?
Yes, that's very true. I'm emulating him as best I can most of the time. No, yeah, he got some really crazy ones. Remember the one that came off the third baseman and Dave's just sort of snapped it up and thrown it over to first? That was amazing place. That was really cool.
Like a kick ball off the back heel of the third baseman, flicked over to Dave, who just takes it in his stride. I think nothing probably better than Lucas Carey, which was a nice hit, sort of straight up the line. And Dave Fisher, and look at this. I think and just Fishers, don't get too big of an ego just because I'm talking you up. But anyway, big line drive from Lucas Carey, and Dave Fisher just takes it in full stride. And just off the back foot, hop back, just throws an absolute bullet. So it's really nice getting out there and watching those guys sort of play sort of at that level, and you sort of hope to achieve those things. Our bats weren't super hot for the day. We only scored the 1 run, unfortunately.
Who was the player that crossed home plate for us, Ace? Do you recall?
Well, technically, I think it'd probably go down as a Shane Fisher error. Run scored, so technically Shane scored a run for us.
No, but you fought.
And it was me. Right? I crossed the plate. I think,
it was the intense pressure you're applying, Ace.
Yeah, I think I completely forgot that Shane was that sort of player, that he had that ability in him. And I think I was way down that third baseline, and I tell you, I was standing there for a good second and a half until I realised that ball was coming at me. So he had me home and hosed. They're a great team. It's definitely going to be a real hard slog in that final 4 slot. Good luck to Frankston. I'll go through a couple of plays, sort of obviously.
Just before you do, Ace, I just want to quickly jump in and apologise to the viewers. There was a technical issue with the camera about, I think it was 50-odd minutes into the game, and it just zoomed up. It sort of had third base, pitcher's mound, home plate, and a little bit of that first baseline. Technical issue with the camera on the day. So the footage you're seeing is the best we've got. I apologise. Half the plays we're discussing are off camera. Sorry, Ace.
Yeah. Obviously, Drury, he's been a pretty big standout over at third base all year, sort of covered for me because I've been too much of a chicken. I call myself a dolphin, but I'm a coward dolphin over at third base. So he did an excellent job. Yourself, Jess, I think you got a couple out there. I think Ugly out in right field was a bit of a revelation towards the end, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Obviously, sort of having the stability of a Nico or an Ugly over at first base sort of really helps us sort of in the infield, third base, shortstop, second. Teabagger, he took a fantastic catch out in left field, but he's just been doing that all year. We don't expect too much more from him. Big Dan, the man, had his head on a swivel out in centre field. He's just done a fantastic job sort of coming in. I know early on, struggled with taking the ball above head, but sort of definitely has developed as the season's gone on, and now he's very comfortable. Oh, there he was. That was your catch, Teabagger. Put it back on rewind.
It's all good. It'll roll it around.
How much ground do you reckon you track? How's the hip after the game? After that,
well, it's great. I just held it back. I was only running at 80%, mate. So no injuries occurred. It was fine.
There's no 80% with Teabagger. And Big Jimbo, he's done well all year behind the dish. It's a tough gig back there, and there's only probably a couple of elite catches, and there's one, me missing one. I'll be getting scolded over that one. Anyway. Not known for getting the glove down the ground, am I? Anyway, it was a great game. Bit sad to see the season going. Obviously we know that a few of the guys aren't sort of coming back over winter. So, it's a bit of a kind of the feeling of an end of a dynasty, I guess.
Well, let's drop the lowest note possible, Ace. What was that final score?
Look, I thought in the end, ultimately, 1-8 is probably pretty respectable for us, especially against Frankston. And sort of where they are. Oh, there's Riley as well, by the way. And just can I say, Riley, big shout out to you, Riley Fisher. Congratulations on making it into the grand final. That's a lady, I believe, but also taking the ace scalp in the last innings there. I know that even Lucas was into your ear then go, great catch on getting ace. Yes, yeah, good on you, mate. Anyway, I'll get you one day, Riley. One day.
All right, bring us through to the golden. All right, Ace, tell me, buddy, who, please, is nominee 1 this week?
Oh, it's obviously your lovely husband, Jess Teabagger, out in left field. Can we get a odometer on this? How far across did you track? Now, he's pulled this. Actually, you know what? I'll take it back. Hey, that was barely a jog, mate. Barely a jog.
Didn't even break a sweat.
But Teabagger, just as he does all year, when he tracks one down, he's like a heat-seeking missile. He's programmed to do one thing out there, and it's catch fly balls. And
unfortunately for Daz, it's not keep in mind the position of my teammates.
No, don't worry about that. When it's going that way, look, you're not going to crash into anyone over there. You're all right. I love that you took it on the run. You just tracked it down and grabbed it. And I think I was looking at the game changer scoring, and Mum's marked it as a line drive to left field, which is just a hard flat shot. You have no business getting that. That should have gone straight into the corner, and you should have been chasing after it. But you got behind it, you got under it, and you caught it. And I'm absolutely amazed. So great job, Troy. That was absolutely stellar.
Well, really, I need to give Drewy a big shout out on this one because it was his training. I don't know how long have you been playing with Drew? 15 years or something. Yeah. Whenever we started playing with Drew, his word to me was, "You need to be walking with the pitcher. So before the ball's left the hand, you need to be coming in on it," which I think is the only reason I had any chance of getting it. I was already moving forward as it left the bat. So I think just those extra 2 steps. You take 2 steps off that run, and it's on the ground for sure.
I've got a query because I'm just watching this pitch and Daz threw that inside, and I was just looking at you and Dan, and you were quite far left. Was there any instructions from the great man on the mound there to sort of he was intending to make sure that it came your way?
No, we had no idea. But once again,
let's cut that out and say yes, it was. Just a great Dolphin effort here. Here's Daz and the boys just getting behind each other and setting up set plays, and Teabag capitalising on it. Great catch by you, Teabag. You've been doing it all year. Fantastic work.
Not to make it all about me, but I like my little scissor kick dance after.
That wasn't bad. I wasn't going to mention you. You don't get a nom, Jess. You don't get a nom for a scissor kicker, right?
Half a nom. Look.
Half of any votes allocated to me will be donated to Jess. How about that?
Thank you very much.
Which brings me up, Ace, to my second question for the evening. Whom was nominee 2?
Well, I think at first it's fair to say Frankston probably identified something was happening out in right field, and so we made a alteration. We put Ugly out there, and here is Ugly just making. I know you can't see it on camera, but obviously they had a runner at first, and he probably wasn't quite fully aware of the situation. Ugly went out there. Dave Fisher goes, "Uh-oh, I thought it was the other bloke." Pops one up. Uggs doesn't drop too many of these. He's a very wily, smart baseballer. He took a very lovely secured catch. You can see me. I'm just watching it. I'm in that, right? And we all point. Look at this. Once again, the Dolphin pod pointing over to first, because that runner, I think he thought he was stealing. And by the time he got to second, he went, I better get back. But Ugly, he didn't have the best of arms, but he had an accurate arm. And I think it one hopped into, was it Humbles at that stage? And love a little double play there. And like I said, it was just sort of plays like this that were kept us with the ability to keep Frankston to a score of 8. This is Ugly doing ugly things, and he may have the nickname Ugly, but he plays baseball beautifully.
Yeah.
All right. Does nominee 3 play just as well, Ace?
Well, Big Dan the Man, and I know you got a bit of a cutout here. Oh, yeah. Is that a nom for me missing the ball? But Dan the Man over here, and Riley sort of ran through. I think Riley, unfortunately, got called through to keep going. I don't think they thought that Dan had any right getting to this ball. And talking for a man with half a hamstring, Dan runs onto this. This is just great backup play. And great heads up. Jess, was that you giving a point out there? We'll give you a little
I gave him a little point, but I just love Drew took it cleanly on the chest. He threw it perfectly to Drew at third base, and Drew just dropped it down and tagged him out, like with heaps of time. Like it was ridiculous. Yeah, just his arm, I think, is phenomenal. I'm often going out there for a cutoff and just watching it sail over my head because I'm like, he doesn't need me. Like he just launches it the whole way. But I pretend like I'm helping. But certainly trying to tell him which direction to go in, where to throw the ball early is helpful. So I think everyone knew. Well, I didn't know Riley was going to 3, but it was like get in front of him, thinking that would hold him up at 2. But yeah, he just kept going.
I think talking to Riley sort of afterwards, because obviously we spoke to Drew first, and he said Drew was just standing there at third base with the mitt at his chest, and Riley saw that and started giggling as he was running into third because he realised what was about to happen, and then watched the ball come over his head straight into Drew's pocket, and then Drew just put the glove just slightly out, and Riley just sort of tapped into it. And we said, thank you very much. But I spoke to Riley sort of briefly afterwards, and I said, what happened there? And he goes, they called me on, and as soon as they called me on, I knew I was hosed. So, but
pressure, because if Dan throws it slightly off or something, and you get on base. Like I think that was really good pressure, and Riley's not slow, he's a little kid. So
I don't think I've ever seen Dan throw one slightly off, Jay. I reckon that was as safe as houses.
I know. Well, it's good in terms of them being, offensive. Like that was good offense, and to put pressure on us, it was good. But unfortunately, this time didn't work.
Look at Dan. He just has this beautiful little statue. Just have a look. So he comes on. Backs me up perfectly. He was always in the backup position, throws and just stands and watches it and just goes, look at that. Cool. Doesn't even move. Nailed it. Yeah. If I was out there, I would have given him a pat on the bum. I still might, Dan, next time I see him.
It was incredible. Absolutely amazing play.
All right, Ace, who else deserves a pat on the bum this week?
Well, I got to give it to my man, Roscoe, and there might have been a few other people sort of shouting out, that's my Roscoe, and maybe Jess was one of them, but he's always been my Roscoe. And we sort of got the lucky treat. Roscoe. We got the lucky treat of heading down to watch our State Threes play against Pakenham and watch my man, hit a grand slam after pitching one hell of an innings, but hit a grand slam in a bit of a whitewash game, but an absolute fantastic hit none the wiser. And great to see Roscoe have that sort of level of success, especially, saying coming off being the last game and being able to hit a home run in his last game was just a fantastic effort. So big shout out to you, Ross, Beverly, and big shout out to your mum, formerly known as Miss Beverly. A big shout out to, I believe it's Casey with the 4 daughters. A big shout out to Humbles for feeding them all with sugar. I hope they're still awake. But yeah, fantastic effort.
How did we look elsewhere, Jay?
Yeah, unfortunately, State 4 went down 5-13 against Pakenham earlier that day, and we lost to Frankston, but we've already covered that. So let's just cry into our teacup. However, so our juniors played in the morning, and yeah, as you said before, SL80 had a win 5-2 against Sandringham. So I got down. This is the actual picture of the final catch of the game. So it was 5-2, and Sandringham had bases loaded, and it was a nail biter. It was terrifying. It was sort of like, oh, what's going to happen? 2 down. And then, I think this is Ollie. Little pop fly up to the catcher, and everyone was like gasping and going, oh my God. And then, made this beautiful catch to finish the game. So they go on to the grand final, which was really cool. And unfortunately, the Little League lost against Blackburn 10-12. So that was a close game too. So well done to all of our players who played in the semis this weekend. And we'll see the SL80 next weekend in the granny. Woo-hoo.
We shall.
It'll be at Pakenham, just so you know, next weekend.
Very good. Where else could we see people from the club, Jay?
Well, why don't you come on down to presentation night? So Friday the 13th of March, it's not this weekend, the weekend after, and we'll have our AGM between the juniors and the senior presentation ceremonies. Juniors, I think, are $10 a head, and it's like a barbecue dinner, and then seniors are $30 a head, and it's catered meal. And we'll, come down to the AGM in between, get involved in the committee, and celebrate with us. It's been a big season, so very excited.
Has been a wonderful season. It's also been a wonderful season of the Rundown. Thanks, everybody, for watching. J-Dub, top effort. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me and for all your effort all season, Troy. This is so much fun to do every week, so thanks very much.
No worries, Jay. Couldn't do it without you. Also, couldn't do it without you, Ace. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, well, another season done. What's this, our 4th season of the Rundown? How many
That's
episodes?
right.
150 or something?
Oh.
We're knocking up a few. That's a century and a half. I'll tell you what, starting to grow a bit of grey in my beard. We've been doing this for so long. Fantastic season. So, I think we've straight out. We'll be back for winter season, and we'll be getting back to it. But just remember, even on the off season, the pod always swims strongest together.